Ok, vidite li dokument? Ove dokumente, znači neke od njih koje ja koristim za vježbe sa vama, nisu postavljene na sistem. Zato jer evo ja koristim određene vježbe za koje mislim da bi vam dobro došle, a u svakom slučaju dokumente koje se koriste inače, dakle u nastavi sa redovnim studentima, a koji obuhvataju IT sadržaj koji će se obrađivati u okviru ovog predmeta, su vam dostupni na sistemu. Dakle, ove dokumente možete potražiti na internetu, mada ne znam, nemate pristup vjerovatno svim ovim dokumentima koje ja koristim. Evo kažem, ja pravim neku selekciju za koju mislim da bi vama bila odgovarajuća. Tako da, konkretno kažem, možete se poslužiti, mislim da možete, da imate pristup, sankcija se zove Lingua House, ali vam trebate imati pristup, dakle, koji se plaća, tako da jednim dijelom svakako, jednom dijelu sadržaja ne možete svakako pristupiti, ali evo imate priliku, dakle, na online nastavi da ih vidite i da vidite o čemu se radi. Jel? Ovi materijali, dakle dodatni ili dokumenti koje koristimo, prate na određeni način ono što radimo, dakle na in-class nastavi. To su, kažem, samo neke dodatne vježbe ili neki određeni sadržaji za koje ja pretpostavljam da bi vam mogli, kažem, biti interesantni ili dobro doći. Materijal za ovaj predmet, dakle za engleski jezik 3 nisu još postavljene. U principu u prvoj sedmici se postavljaju obično samo silabus i uvodno predavanje, ali bit će objavljeni evo u narednih par dana do kraja sedmice ćete imati, dakle, dostupne materijale, vjerovatno 2 materijala ili barem jedan svakako zajedno sa silabusom. Uglavnom jeste, ali evo imat ćete vi svakako, dakle, materijale, bilo je par pitanja, studenti pitaju mailom vezano za te materijale, je li isto možete li koristiti te materijale sa prošle godine, odnosno iz prošlog semestra, jer uporedu idu ova 2 nastavna plana. U svakom slučaju, dakle, materijali koji vama trebaju će biti dostupni, dakle, i objavljivat će se svake sedmice, tako da ćete ih moći redovno preuzimati. Oni jesu uglavnom isti kao prošle godine, ali evo, ponešto će biti izmijenjeno i dopunjeno, tako da u svakom slučaju ćete imati sve to dostupno na sistemu. Ok, dobro, evo ako nemate više pitanja, počet ćemo sa lekcijom. We'll talk about cultural know-how or certain things that are specific for different countries or the way how people behave in different countries. So what is typical for a certain country? How do people usually react, or what people usually do in certain situations? And we will start with idioms. Okay, your first task is to study the following sentences and to match idioms to its correct, or idiom to the correct definition that is given below. Okay, and then we'll read this text about certain things that are specific for different countries, and I believe it will be interesting. We'll find out you'll get to find out some new things about what people do and how they behave in different countries, and this is something that is, I would say, always good to know if you get to travel or if you're maybe thinking about leaving the country. By the way, this is what I had the discussion with in-class students this morning about leaving the country. Just to ask you, are you considering to leave the country and maybe to try to live somewhere else? Okay. I guess that you, of course, know, and this is something that is happening again in our country. I said again because this trend is present, or has been present recently. A large number of people is leaving the country, and people have, of course, different reasons for that. But I was just wondering about your let's say attitude, or your consideration, whether you would like to leave the country, or you're considering to leave the country and maybe start somewhere else. So yeah, just by the way, I wanted to ask you about that. Okay. Yeah, some of you are probably considering to continue studying, which would be, of course, a good thing. You can also consider maybe doing part of your undergraduate studies, part of your studies here, I mean at FIT. You can do part of your studies somewhere else. So you can, for example, leave or go somewhere to a certain university for one semester or for a shorter period of time. So you may as well consider that option. Or, as Mohammed said, exchange, student exchange. Yeah. Okay. Good. Anyway, let's start with our lesson. Let's have a look at the given idioms. Okay, so the first sentence: at the end of the meal, we decided to go Dutch. Okay, so have a look, scan these given definitions below and try to figure out which would be the matching definition. Think about the context or the meaning of the sentence and try to guess. If you are not sure, try to guess what it might be. Okay, so what might be the meaning of a given idiom. So at the end of the meal, we decided to go Dutch. Yes. Okay. So this is that would be F, to pay 50% of the bill each. Okay. Would you say that is this different in our country, or do people do this? Do we go Dutch in our country? But would you say that this is a typical kind of, or kind of behavior? Okay. So you wouldn't say that this is a very common in our country? I was wondering whether things have changed, because I would say that this is not common, but I was curious to hear, or to find out what you would say about this. Okay. The second sentence: if you want to win the argument, you should stick to your guns. So, if you want to win the argument, you should stick to your guns. Okay, good. So it is the keep your position even if people try to criticize you. Okay. Do you usually stick to your guns? Are you trying, when you're having some sort of an argue, or when you're discussing something with someone, do you usually stick to your guns, or do you, for example, is it important for you to win the argument, even if people criticize you, or it's not so important? Okay, good. So if you Yeah, of course, sometimes it is difficult for people actually to admit that they're wrong, but yeah. Okay. Anyway, the next sentence, let's see. Thank you for all your help. Yeah. Thank you for all your help. I hope someday we can return the compliment. So to return the compliment or... Okay, good. That's the one. So do something for someone because they have done something for you. Okay. The next one, the politician managed to save face by escaping blame for the mistake. So to save face. Think about the meaning of the sentence. Okay, good. That's the one. Protect your reputation. Yes. Next sentence, everyone at the party was wearing special costumes and we had to follow suit. So everyone at the party was wearing special costumes and we had to follow suit. So do what other people are doing. Okay, great. During the negotiation, they decided to give ground in order to reach an agreement. To give ground. What do you think? What might be the meaning? Okay, so change your position in order to make it easier to reach an agreement. Good. The next sentence, we were wined and dined all over the city. So we were wined and dined all over the city. Okay. Yes, we were taken out for expensive meals. And the last one here, I was trying to be polite, but he got the wrong idea. The remaining one is, of course, he misunderstood. Okay, good. Have a look at the following sentences. Think about this. And say whether you think the following statements are true or false, and then we will check by reading the article. Okay, so let's try to guess what people do in different countries. In Singapore, the word no is considered impolite. What do you think? Is this true or false? Some of you know certain things about different countries, I guess. If not, try to guess. Yeah, could be true. Okay. All of you try to comment. Okay, just try to join this discussion. So yeah, in Singapore, the word no is considered impolite. Okay, you said false. Okay, we'll find out later. In Greece, you should nod your head upwards to say yes. That would be strange for us because we do it the other way, the opposite way. So what do you think? Saudin said false. Mirza? Azra, what do you think? False. Okay. Hamza? Okay. Yeah. Okay, so we have different opinions on this one. Valid. Okay, valid might join us later. Okay, in Italy, it is a bad idea to turn up late for a meeting. Italians are usually quite easygoing and relaxed, so what do you think? False, okay, you'll see. So, bad idea to turn up late for a meeting. So, you think it's false. Okay. In the Netherlands, it is a bad idea to turn up late for a meeting. So, the same thing, but different country. What do you think? In the Netherlands. Okay. Good. In Japan, the business card is very important and should be treated with respect. I said true. Okay, true. So most of you think that this might be true. Okay. In Russia, you should not argue during business deals. You should not argue. Russians are, I would say, famous for being very passionate and trying to win their arguments. So, yeah, what do you think? You should not argue during business deals. Do you think that this is considered impolite? Arguing during business deals. Okay. Okay. In Turkey, you should not insist on sharing the restaurant bill with your host. In Turkey. So going Dutch. In Turkey, it's probably true. Okay. In Mexico, you should be careful about proposing dinner arrangements with your client. What do you think? In Mexico, well, it's not very clear what this sentence refers to, but yeah, we'll find out later in the article. Let's try to make a guess. You should be careful about proposing dinner arrangements with your client. What do you think? True or false? Okay, let's now find out whether these sentences were true or false. So let's just read the text. Let me just a little bigger. So cultural know-how. Learning about a country's culture can help you secure good working relations on your travels. Okay, so let's see. Do you arrive 10 minutes early for an important business meeting in Rio or 10 minutes late in Amsterdam? In Moscow, is it a good idea to give ground at an early stage of the negotiations? And in Istanbul, should you offer to go Dutch with a host on the restaurant bill? So mastering the local etiquette can be more valuable than learning the language, because so much of the world does business in English, or a form of English. Beware that an English word or phrase doesn't always mean the same thing abroad, warns Michael Bennett, who sells security systems in Southeast Asia. In Japan and Singapore, people feel that no is an impolite word and will sometimes say yes to avoid causing offense. What I really mean is I understand what you're saying, not I agree. I'm told that in Indonesia, there are 12 words for yes that mean precisely the opposite. Okay. Even the movement of your head can be open to misinterpretation. Publisher Robin Touquet has difficulties in Athens. The Greeks traditionally use an upward nod of the head to say no and a tilt of the head from side to side to mean yes. I was ready for that, but didn't realize the younger generation have learned it to do it our way. So confusion all around. If in doubt, keep still. The issue of punctuality is almost as complicated. Oil company executive Malcolm Thorburn deliberately turns up a few minutes late for meetings in Brazil because Brazilians believe latecomers are more likely to be commercially successful than people who arrive early. They are impressed by people who are relaxed enough not to worry about the clock. The Italians take a similar attitude. They believe that arriving late shows who is the boss. However, don't risk that in the Netherlands. The Dutch frown upon lateness, warns film finance agent James Hendel. They believe that people who cannot use their time wisely cannot be trusted. Hendel has also experienced the ceremony of exchanging business cards in Japan. The business card is seen as representing the individual, so the whole affair has to be treated with respect. You must accept your client's card with both hands, perhaps admiring it, and then place it carefully in your card holder. The social side of Japanese commerce can also unnerve the Western visitor who might have to go to a karaoke bar and sing. Many Japanese businessmen like to conclude business by performing their favorite song in a karaoke bar, says management trainer Nicole Vahden. You're expected to follow suit. In Russia, the ritual of the business meeting is more theatrical skill. I've seen temper tantrums, sudden walkouts, table thumping, and so on, but it's all part of the fun, says Michael Bennett, and they admire you more if you stick to your guns. Seeking a compromise early is seen as a sign of weakness. In almost every business community around the world, the host pays for the meal. Malcolm Thorburn was wined and dined in Istanbul, and all went well until he insisted on paying his share. It caused real embarrassment, he recalls. In Turkey, the idea of sharing a bill is quite alien. The best policy is to thank your host and return the compliment at the first opportunity. Insurance underwriter Toni Morrison caused super time embarrassment in Mexico 5 years ago. I was working late with a client, and midway through the evening, I felt so hungry, I suggested we carry on working at a nearby restaurant. The client thought this was a sign I had a romantic interest in him. When I realized he had got the wrong idea, I started to laugh, which made things even worse. The only way of getting out of it was to enable him to save face, so I accepted all the blame for the misunderstanding. Okay, so were you surprised with what we found out in the text? Did you know about these things? Shall we check the sentences now? Okay. If you have noticed, the idioms that we use in the first exercise were of course mentioned in the text. If you would like to ask a question about the meaning of any of these paragraphs or parts of the text, feel free to do so. Okay, so let's check the sentences. The statements that we talked about before. So we said in Singapore, the word no is considered impolite. True or false once again? Do you remember from the text? True, yes. In Greece, you should nod your head upwards to say yes. What was said in the article? What was mentioned? In Greece, you should nod your head upwards to say yes. This is also true, but what was mentioned in the article is that younger, well, this is true, like generally true, but younger generations do it the other way, the same way we do it here. So this might be confusing for people visiting Greece. Okay, in Italy, it is a bad idea to turn up late for a meeting. Is this true or false? This is false. So they don't think this is a bad idea. But in the Netherlands, is it a bad idea to turn up late for a meeting? Is this true or false? True, yes. In Japan, the business card is very important and should be treated with respect. True, that's it. In Russia, you should not argue during business deals. Is this true or false? Yeah, it's false. Okay. In Turkey, you should not insist on sharing the restaurant bill with your host. This is true. And in Mexico, you should be careful about proposing dinner arrangements with your client. Is this true or false? This is also true. Okay, good. Let's see what we have next. Your next task is to find a word or phrase in the article which means the following. Okay, so let's have a look. We should be looking for the phrase in paragraph 2 with the meaning of offending people. Okay, so phrase in paragraph 2. Have a look and tell me what do you think it might be. Offending people. Do you understand the task? Razumijete li što trebate uraditi? You need to find a word or phrase in the article which means First, offending people. So you should be looking for a phrase in paragraph 2. Okay, so in the article that we have just read. Which of the phrases in this part of the text has a meaning of offending people? Yes, that's correct, Azra. So, causing offense. Okay. Let's have a look at the next one. Understood incorrectly. So, understood incorrectly, we're looking for a phrase in paragraph 3. Understood incorrectly. What do you think? So we are again looking for a phrase, not a single word, but a phrase. Well, yes and no. I mean, it's close to the meaning of understood incorrectly, but also to be, what do you think? There is one more that could have the same or similar meaning. Yes, open to misinterpretation. Yes. So that would be the one. Okay, the next one, an upward or downward movement of the head. An upward or downward movement of the head. Noun in paragraph 3. Noun. So we're looking for a noun. Upward or downward movement of the head. Šta mislite? Nod, tako je, bravo. Okay. Do not move. Phrase. We're looking for a phrase in paragraph 3. Do not move. So, to keep still. Okay, good. Well done. People who arrive late. Noun in paragraph 4. So people who arrive late, yes, they are called latecomers. Good. Disapprove of. So we're looking for a phrasal verb in paragraph 4. Disapprove of. What do you think? Maybe that's that's an idiom or a phrase that you might not know, but yeah, okay, great. So frown upon. Exactly. So frown upon. Try to remember that one. So disapprove of. So frown upon. Ne slagati se ili ne odobravati nešto. Okay. Next one. Make someone feel nervous or uncomfortable. Verb in paragraph 6. Make someone feel nervous or uncomfortable. In paragraph 6. Make someone feel nervous or uncomfortable. Tako je, bravo, Azra. A nerve. And sudden periods of uncontrolled childish anger. Plural noun in 7. What do you think? This word might be new to you, but yeah, let's try. Šta mislite? Dakle, kako je bilo? Sudden periods of uncontrolled childish anger. Usually it's related to behavior of children, but doesn't have to be. So in the text. Okay, so it is temper tantrum. Yeah, okay. In the text, it is in relation to, of course, behavior of adults, but usually, as I said, it refers to behavior of children. Okay, good. Let's see what we have next. we will talk about modal verbs. Okay, as you know, modal verbs can be used in different ways. We will repeat certain things by answering to the given questions, and these let's say questions are related to different ways or the different uses of modal verbs. With relation or in relation to present tense and past tense. So let's have a look. There are many ways and many different meanings of modal verbs in different contexts. So let's try to answer the following questions and to think of or to remember certain rules that are related to the use of modal verbs, okay, and what's important when it comes to the use of modal verbs. Here we have a few sentences or examples of sentences in which a certain modal verb is used, okay. Think about the following, okay, so try to answer the following questions. Which modal verb means that something is generally possible? So think about all modal verbs. If you need a reminder, we can just like list or mention certain or all modal verbs. So we have can, may, might, should, ought to, other, for example, must, and other modal verbs. Try to remember which modal verbs means that something is generally possible. What would you say? Usually can, yeah. Although the modal verb might can also be used to express certain degree of possibility or predicting something, degree of certainty, we would say. So yeah, but usually if we want to say that something is generally possible, we would use modal verb can. Okay, which modal verb means that something is possible, although not very likely. So if you compare modal verbs, for example, can, could, may, and might, which of these verbs means that something is possible, although not very likely? If you say, I don't know, someone is ringing at the door, and you say it can be, I don't know, it can be Olivera, or it could be Olivera, it may be Olivera, and it might be Olivera, in which case you are positive or more sure in which of these cases, or on the other hand, in which of the sentences it is not very likely or you're not very sure that it's Olivera, for example, at the door. May and might, ja. Znači, baš biste ih upotrebili na ovaj način kao što sam ih, evo ja poredala kada sam ispomenula, dakle, can, could, may and might, dakle, u odnosu na can, sa could biste izrazili da ste manje sigurni, pa onda sa may još manje, a sa might najmanje, jel? Tako da evo, možete koristiti sve u principu da kažete kad niste baš sigurni šta je u pitanju, dakle, ali da biste izrazili taj manji stepen, jel, vjerovatnoće, onda koristimo glagol might koji u odnosu na druge glagole ga izražava u manjoj mjeri, jel? Which modal verb means it's a good idea? Znači, sa kojim modalnim glagolom biste dali neku vrstu savjeta. Tako je. A koji još možete li se sjetiti modalni glagol ima isto značenje? Tako je, bravo, od tu. Which two modal verbs express an obligation? Sa kojim modalnim glagolima se izražava, može izraziti obaveza? Must i koji se još oblik koristi da izrazi obavezu? Tako je, bravo. You have to. Koji je negative, what is the negative form of each modal verb? Evo, od ove dvije koje ste sada naveli. Dakle, od must and have to, negative form. Negirajte ih. Negative form of the verbs must and have to. Na primjer, evo te dvije možemo izabrati. Mustn't and. Naravno, sad ova negacijska forma oblika have to zavisi od toga da li ga koristimo za nešto što se odnosi na sadašnjost ili na prošlost, ali evo da se radi o sadašnjosti, kako biste rekli, ne moraš nešto uraditi. Tako, you don't have to. Ok, koja je razlika između ova dva? Šta znači mustn't, a šta don't have to? Šta znači mustn't? Šta je specifično za ovaj oblik? Tako je, to je dakle u značenju ne smjeti, ali don't have to ima značenje ne morati, Mirza. Dakle, mustn't je ne smjeti, a dakle kad želimo nekoga upozoriti da se nešto ne smije, da je zabranjeno, dakle upotrebit ćemo taj oblik, a ako želimo reći da ne postoji obaveza da se nešto uradi, onda bismo upotrebili oblik don't have to, ili odgovarajuće, zavisno od lica, dakle može biti don't have to, doesn't have to, ili u past tense bi bilo naravno drugačije. Dobro. What are the positive and negative past forms of might and should? Šta ovo znači? Evo da vam malo olakša. Kako biste rekli? Na primjer, evo uzmite ovaj primjer koji sam malo prije navela, neko kuca na vrata i vi pretpostavljate ko bi to mogao biti, pa smo rekli da možemo upotrijebiti glagol might kada smo najmanje sigurni da je to neko koga očekujemo ili ne očekujemo. Sad tu istu rečenicu razmislite o njoj, ali u kontekstu prošlog vremena, na primjer someone was at the door, mora da je to bila Olivera. Dakle, šta mislite kako ćemo upotrijebiti, odnosno koji je to oblik koji bismo upotrijebili dakle, uz glagol might, a da izrazimo, odnosno da navedemo da se radi o prošlosti, o prošloj radnji, o prošlom nekom događaju. Dakle, evo, someone was at the door, mora da je to bila Olivera, ili neki sličan primjer možete it might, ali nećemo reći, evo Mirza je bio na dobrom putu, dakle neće biti had been, nego ćemo to kombinovati sa have been, u konkretnom slučaju, dakle it might, pa onda past particip, odnosno present perfect, rekli bismo ako vam je tako lakše određenog glagola, it might have been Olivera, dakle ne has, dakle ne možemo ga kombinovati sa tim oblikom, it might have been Olivera, i na isti način bismo upotrebili, odnosno napravili past form glagola should, ok, na primjer, evo ne znam, nakon ispitnih rokova kažete I didn't pass all the exams, i u odgovoru na to neko kaže trebao si učiti više. Evo, kako biste tu rečenicu formulisali? Dakle, u prezentu bi to bilo da želite nekome da date savjet, rekli biste you should study harder, okay, you should study more, ali da se ta ista rečenica odnosi na prošlo vrijeme, onda ćemo reći you should have, možemo upotrijebiti ovaj trajni oblik, you should have been studying more ili you should have studied more, svejedno je, dakle samo da znate kako se slaže taj oblik, dakle uz modalni glagol, a da se odnosi rečenica na prošlo vrijeme, you should have studied more. What are the positive, next question, what are the positive and negative past forms of have to and must? Znači positive and negative past forms. Use for obligations. Kako biste rekli, morala sam ili morao sam nešto završiti. Znači, positive and negative past form. I had to, dobro. A kako bi to bilo u negacijskom obliku? Nisam morala. I didn't have to. Eto ga, dobro. What other modal verb expresses obligations or obligation? Koji još možemo eventualno glagol upotrijebiti da izrazimo neku vrstu obaveze? Kako još možemo reći? Kako možete li se sjetiti, na primjer, kako biste rekli trebala bih nešto uraditi u tom smislu više? Koji je još glagol koji možete upotrijebiti da kažete trebam nešto uraditi, tako je, glagol need. Okay. What is the difference between these two sentences? Pogledajte, dakle u čemu je razlika, mislim da smo i ranije govorili, između glagola must i have to, Dakle, pazite, oba se oblika koriste, mogu upotrijebiti u stvari za izražavanje određene obaveze, znači they are used for obligation, to talk about obligation, but there is a certain difference, znači postoji određena razlika. Znate li možda, ili osjećate li se, ili znate li od ranije u čemu je razlika? Kad kažete I must get some sleep i I have to get some sleep, u čemu bi bila razlika? Znači postoji razlika u značenju. Glagol must se odnosi na neku vrstu, kažemo internal obligation, dakle nešto što ima veze sa nekim našim trenutnim stanjem ili raspoloženjem ili stavom, mišljenjem. I must get some sleep because I'm tired. Okay? Ili I didn't sleep well last night, so I must get some sleep now. Okay, because I feel bad, okay, or I feel tired. Ali I have to get some sleep, dakle glagol, odnosno oblik have to je vezan za neku vrstu obaveze, odnosno vezan je za obavezu koja je uslovljena nekim pravilom, evo ne znam, zabranom ili zakonom. Na primjer, I have to get some sleep because I have to go to work tomorrow. Okay, znači because I have to get up early to go to work tomorrow. Dakle, razlika u tome što se, evo, ne znam jer za nešto se odnosi ovo što sam napisao, ali u svakom slučaju, dakle da ponovim, glagol must je vezan za tu neku vrstu unutrašnje obaveze, jel kažem ili lične obaveze, internal kind of obligation, a have to se odnosi na obavezu koja je uslovljena nekom vrstom ili pravila ili zakona ili obaveze koja se tiče nekog rasporeda ili evo, kao što smo naveli u datom primjeru. Sada u narednom, da, by the law najčešće jest, mada ne mora biti zakonska odredba, može biti neko pravilo ili obaveza u smislu, ne znam, odlaska na posao kao što smo spomenuli u primjeru. What is the difference between these two sentences? I don't have to get up early tomorrow, I mustn't get up late tomorrow. Malo prije smo to spominjali. Dakle, šta znači mustn't, a šta don't have to? U prvoj rečenici, dakle, I don't have to get up early. Ne moram, a u drugoj bi bilo ne smije, tako je. Dobro. What other modal verbs express possibility and speculation? Malo prije smo spomenuli te glagole kada smo navodili primjer someone is at the door, pa smo rekli it. Sad, kad ste sigurni, kad očekujete nekoga, na primjer, evo, očekujete da dođe, ne znam, Azdra, pa kažete someone is at the door, kako biste rekli, to mora da je Azdra. Kako biste rekli, mora da je tako, it must be Azra. Sad, ako smo manje sigurni, onda bismo mogli reći it can be Azra, onda bi bilo, dakle, u slučaju da smo još manje sigurni, it could be, pa onda it may be, and it might be Azra. Ok, sad, sve ove glagole koje se koriste za izražavanje, dakle, neke vrste speculation, possibility, certainty, u prošlom vremenu bismo rekli, dakle, someone was at the door, it must have been Azra, it can have been Azra, it could have been Azra, dakle, it may have been, it might have been. Dakle, svi se na isti način kombinuju sa glavnim glagolom u present perfect form, pričamo taj pomoćni glagol have mora biti u obliku, dakle, može upotrijebiti samo u tom obliku, dakle ne u obliku has za treće lice. Dakle, kombinujemo te glagole sa oblikom have i past participle glavnog glagola u određenoj rečenici. Evo, vidjet ćemo svakako, radit ćemo barem još jednu vježbu, ako se slažete, malo smo produžili, zato jer smo kasnije počeli. Vidimo samo barem malo da provježbamo, pa ćemo nastaviti sljedeći put. Aha, evo ovako da vidimo, da se nadovežemo na tekst koji smo pročitali i upotrebimo modalne glagole na određeni način. Your task is to rephrase the sentences using a suitable modal verb. Have a look at the example. It is a good idea to arrive on time for meetings in the Netherlands. You should, of course, arrive on time for meetings in the Netherlands. Now, next one. Calling your new boss by his first name is not a good idea in this country. Kako ćete promijeniti, kako ćete parafrazirati rečenicu da biste, dakle, isti smisao prenijeli, odnosno kako biste isto rekli, ali koristeći odgovarajući modalni način, opet naravno u formi koja odgovara datoj rečenici. Calling your new boss by his first name is not a good idea in this country. Koji biste modalni glagol upotrijebili i na koji način? Da biste isto rekli, dakle, što je rečeno ovom rečenicom. It is not a good idea. Znači nije zabranjeno, ali rekli bismo šta, na koji način bismo upozorili nekoga da to nije baš good idea. Tako je, you shouldn't call your boss. Tako je, good. The next one, parking your car in the manager's parking space is not allowed. So when something is not allowed, which modal verb can we use or should we use to say that something is not allowed? Parking your car in the manager's parking space is not allowed. Tako je, you mustn't park. Bravo. To je to. The company dress code is very relaxed, so it is not necessary to wear a suit and tie for the meeting. Koji ćete modalni glagol upotrijebiti i na koji način? The company dress code is very relaxed, so tako je, odlično, to je to. You don't have to wear a suit, dobro. If you don't learn about the country's culture, there is a slight chance that you will cause someone offense on your business trip. There is a slight chance. Kako ćemo ovo zamijeniti? Kojim modalnim glagolom? If you don't learn about the country's culture, ovdje možete upotrijebiti različite glagole, dakle nekoliko glagola dolazi u obzir. Evo, napišite neki za koji mislite da bi se mogao upotrijebiti u datoj rečenici. There is a slight chance. Tako je, bravo. You might cause someone offense. There is a general possibility of offending someone if you ignore cultural etiquette. Sjećate li se? To express general possibility, we should use modal verb. Tako je, can, odlično. You can offend someone. Dobro. I'm feeling rather tired. It is necessary for me to go to bed now. Sjetite se razlike između must i have to. Dakle, I'm feeling rather tired. Navodili smo baš ovakav primjer malo prije. It is necessary for me to go to bed now. Tako je. I must. Tako je. Eto ga, super. It is necessary for me to get up early tomorrow because I start work at 8 o'clock. Evo, baš smo identičan primjer naveli. Znači, neće biti I must, nego I have to. Odlično. If you want to do successful business in Russia, it is a good idea to stick to your guns during negotiations. If something is a good idea, then we might say, but you should stick to your guns, okay? If Sam keeps arriving late for work, there is a possibility that he will get the sack. There is a possibility. Tako je. He could. Možemo reći he can, he may, he might, ali evo svakako dolazi u obzir he could. Karina has been very stressed lately. It is necessary for her to take a holiday. So she's been very stressed. Kako ćemo je posavjetovati? Reći ćemo she has been very stressed lately. It is necessary for her to take a holiday. She needs to take a holiday, or kako još možemo reći? Da, možemo i koristeći glagol must ili, šta smo rekli, sjećate li se kojim modalnim glagolom možemo dati neku vrstu savjeta? Trebala bi se odmoriti. Tako je. Dakle, možemo reći svakako should. Ili she should, tako je. Ili she ought to have or take a holiday. Ok, u istom tom značenju. Dobro. Super. Ovdje ćemo polako, s ovim ćemo polako završiti za danas. Za ovaj put svakako ćemo sljedeći put nastaviti. Imamo tu još nekoliko vježbe koje su vezane za ove neke specifične upotrebe modalnih glagola, da se malo toga podsjetimo. Imate li pitanja sada? Dobro, evo ako nemate nekih pitanja, reci Merda. Ovakve rečenice, pa naravno da mogu doći, znači sve što radimo može doći u obzir. Pazite, kad se radi o gramatici, već sam spominjala par puta da ne isključujete nešto što smo radili dakle, u okviru, u sklopu predmeta engleski jezik 1 i 2, dakle gramatika se može, dakle bilo koja rečenica, odnosno pitanje koje se tiče bilo koje oblasti ili aspekta gramatičkog koje smo radili, spominjali, možete dobiti kao pitanje na ispitu. Tako da evo i ovo naravno što smo ovaj put radili. Dakle, neka rečenica u kojoj trebate upotrijebiti glagol, modalni glagol u određenoj formi, odnosno izabrati neke od ponuđenih odgovora vezano evo za to. Ne znam jesi li bio prošli put prisutan, ali ja sam pričala o tome, zadnji put sam rekla da ove godine nećete imati usmeni dio ispita, tako da evo razlikuje se značajno u tom smislu. Dakle, imate samo pismeni dio ispita, a pismeni dio ispita je isti kao što je bio ranije, dakle taj dio se nije promijenio, koncept ispita je isti, ali ove godine nemate usmeni dio ispita. Eto ga. Vjerujem da vam je to olakšavajuća novina. Dobro, još neko pitanje? Dobro, evo Hamza nam mora ići, ako nemate više pitanja ili komentara, evo ja vas svakako sve lijepo pozdravljam, želim vam ugodan ostatak dana i sedmice i vidimo se sljedeći put. Hvala vam svima na pažnji i prijatno.